Konnichiwa, Weeberinos, and welcome to Anime Friday!
Today, we'll be talking about Death Note.
I love anime.
I, too, love anime.
Trust me, guys, I love anime.
One person here loves anime more than the rest.
Wonder who it is.
Yeah, who's that guy?
Guys, what do we all think about Death Note?
It's a pretty solid anime. Are we talking about the manga or just the anime? Is it just the anime? Or
Both.
Okay,
Focus more on
Good.
the anime.
Okay.
Because we've all seen the anime, and I haven't read the manga. And I don't think Lucas has read the manga.
I haven't.
Yeah.
You see, guys? There's your answer. There's the one.
Actually, that would be the manga, not the anime. This is Anime Friday here.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Manga Friday.
Yeah, take your manga to Manga Thursday.
No, it's Dawn to Dawn Thursday.
I'll pick Saturday.
No. Saturday is the Anime Friday podcast day.
No, that's Friday.
No. Friday is for Anime Friday. Anime Friday podcast is on Saturday.
I don't think this guy gets it. Regardless, Death Note. Anyone have anything to say about it aside just what was already said, which was quite minimal?
I think Death Note is a masterpiece in character, like in a man versus man type. I think the intellectual premise of Death Note and how the Death Note is actually used and like how it sets up scenarios is genius. Death Note
Yeah,
probably has the best basis for an anime.
Yeah, it's definitely the best part of the show.
Like Light and L, there's a reason that like if you look up Lemon fanfic, they're the characters that show up the most.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Well, I can probably bring up some charts related to this. I've seen them. I know they exist.
I didn't know they exist.
I mean, it is true. The way to best measure how well two characters work together to advance the plot and each other's character is correctly measured by how much fan fiction there is of them.
You were talking about man versus man earlier, and all I'd like to say is I think I could beat Nier in a fight, in like a fist fight.
That's what I meant. There is a fight.
He seems like he doesn't see. I feel like I could do it.
Yeah,
I would like to point out that. What are you just talking about? Like, what part Nier?
Any.
Oh, Annie. So, so the one that takes place after the main continuity in like 2020, where he's an adult.
Yes.
Isn't he just a short adult?
What?
Isn't he just like a short adult?
No, he's like a kid.
No, like in the 2021, isn't he just like short?
Well, I can check.
I feel like Nier is like not as threatening as L or.
Oh yeah, L knows martial arts. Like,
yeah, there is literally a fight scene between Light and L.
Yeah.
I like when they brought out the swords, and then they killed all those demons after breathing a lot.
I like when they demon slayered.
Okay, it's kind of hard to tell looking at Nier as an adult because he's like never not sitting down. However, judging by his proportions, he seems to be at least average height.
Maybe, but no, the character interaction is the best part of the show.
Yeah.
I don't think that's...
Also, like, even a lot of the side characters have good character interaction, like Matsuda, Light's father. Misa's good, but Misa's not really a side character, but Misa's still good.
No, she's definitely a main character.
Yeah. Even things as small as like the Yotsuba board, like a Namikawa, Ui, like they interact well together, and the way they interact with the bigger characters, like a Namikawa's call with Light, where Light pretends to be L.
I remember when we first watched the anime together, you showed me, or you didn't show me, it was just an episode, but it was the when Light's mom greets Light, and she's like, "Oh, how are your grades?" Instead of saying just like, "How are you?"
Yeah, because like even like smaller things like that, like you can see how someone would grow to like just always have a front up.
Like like they have their perfect vision of the world, and like they hide what they truly are.
And that all gets really screwed up, doesn't it? Dad dies, sister gets traumatized and put in a wheelchair, and son, presumably from his mom's point of view, just goes missing because she doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, Lucas,
man, that would suck.
Lucas, you have anything to add about character interactions?
I like that one time they ordered fast food. But disregarding that, I have a theory.
Okay.
So, in Death Note, Donald Trump is in Death Note. And
yeah, not in like main continuity, but later, yeah.
Yeah, and in there's Donald Trump in another anime series that I hold close to me. Kengan Ashura.
Okay.
They take place in the same universe.
I agree.
All the proof is there.
Also, another thing I would like to talk about before we do move on from characters is, even in part 2, despite, the commonly held and correct belief that it's definitely much worse than the first half, like, that the way Nier interacts with the task force does actually, like, it shows what L has that he lacks, and it's like he just comes off constantly as like cold and condescending, but not in the same way, so people don't trust him even though they should.
Also, yeah, I agree, but also a great point is the is it episode 7-6, the L, or not L, Light and Naomi Misora.
Oh, like
that's such a good episode where he's like manipulating her throughout the entire thing.
That's a very good episode, yeah.
That's honestly still my like top 20 anime episodes of all time. Like the presentation of it. Another thing Death Note does really well. Presentation. Like the ending where she's like walking to the noose.
Yeah.
So very impactful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but on the Nier and Mello also have a pretty good dynamic, but it's much less evident in the anime because
I don't even remember them interacting all that much in the anime.
Yeah, they don't interact that much in they don't interact like a ton in the manga, but like in the anime it's so nothing. Also, that's not really a note for the characters. Although I say it could kind of be a note for characters, but it's a little far fetched, and it's referring to one of the light novels where because it's tying the fact that Mello goes against Nier, and he goes to LA and like works with the mob, even though LA is definitely not like the mafia city in America. It's like maybe third, but definitely not even the right region. But in one of the light novels, though I cannot remember the name, one of L's earlier proteges goes to Los Angeles and some people would point out, and I think this too, that it is very possible that it's supposed to reflect like a similar um so like turn in character, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Okay. Do you know what I mean, or do you just know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Also, speaking of that light novel, Beyond Birthday, silly name for a character, which actually brings me to another thing to talk about in the characters. Did you guys know why why a bunch of the characters have such weird names?
No.
It is, if I remember correctly, it is because the author did not want to like write real people's names and have them dying, which is
What?
why
What?
which is why, like, if you get through a bunch of the people who have weird names, and then like Nier, who lives, his name is just Nate River. Like,
as opposed to L. Lawlet or whatever it is.
yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Or like Mihail Kale or Mile Jivas.
I think we can move on from characters now.
Yeah.
Lucas, is there anything particular you want to add?
I don't have much to add to characters, but something I'd just like to bring up, the Death Note dub is better than the sub.
I have only watched the dub.
Yeah, I've only watched the dub.
Light's dub voice actor is so good.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
I don't know what the public perception of it is, but I think the dub did a good job.
Yeah, the dub did a pretty good job. Like, I off the top of my head, I can't think of any, like, weird deliveries, poor delivery. Like, it's generally pretty solid, and like, I don't think watching it, I thought any of the voices were like, this doesn't really fit this character.
Yeah. Especially during the foot rubbing scene in the rain. I really could feel, like, the voice actors coming through in that performance.
I could really feel the voice actors coming in that
I
performance.
could really feel them rubbing my feet.
Were you on the edge of your toes?
Yes.
Were you edging to toes?
No.
Yeah, that's reserved for a certain someone who is not
Fat.
here today.
Fat.
The Argonauts' number one biggest glutton.
Number one biggest.
Number one biggest. I mean, it's not even close. He's head and shoulders.
Also, Lucas, I asked you that because if you want to go to a different section or segment.
Yeah. We did talk about it a bit, but we can just move from characters to the plot.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does everyone feel about how Light got the Death Note?
You mean just how it happens in the very beginning? Like, the Death Note just, like, is there? Like,
Yeah, it just kind of fell from the sky.
okay. I mean, like, it's a bit weird, especially, it's, like, usually you'd think it would just be, like, he just find it there, he wouldn't see it fall from the sky, but I don't, because of, like, the whole stuff that's shown about the Shinigami world, which is touched on more in the manga, but it's not a huge deal that that's left out. I don't have, like, any major issue with it. Fine.
I feel like, knowing the little I do about the manga, it probably felt better in the manga. I just feel like the premise is so good that I don't really care that the ending, that the how he gets it is kind of meh.
Yeah, like, the manga opens, like, in the Shinigami world. Like, so you get a little bit of that, and then the book falls. so you're like prefaced by, like, oh, this is the Shinigami world, they're, like, watching our world, and then, like, after a bit of that, then the book falls. But yeah, in the anime, there isn't really much of that.
In the manga, doesn't it like end with a like instead of just like the way Light dies, it kind of like everyone ends up in the same place.
Um, are you talking about like what exactly do you mean by that?
Like in the ending, it's like it doesn't matter how you died or what you did. Like everyone ends up in the same place.
Yeah, kind of. It's like intentionally pretty vague about it, but yeah.
I feel
It's
like I feel like that vague and this is more used negatively, but I'm going to use it in a not negative way. The more like nihilistic way of like how the manga is set up. I feel like that just happening just feels better.
it's not like super touched on. Like,
No, I think that's a good thing, honestly.
yeah, I think how they did it is just really nice.
Because it's not about this Shinigami world. It's about the powers being given to.
Yeah, and it's not about like what happens after death. It's about like everything that's going on now.
Yeah.
I just like to add something. The Death Note anime does open with the Shinigami rap.
It focuses on it less than the manga. I know
Yeah.
that. I wasn't
It
sure
really
if it.
shows
I wasn't sure if it opened on that or just light. But also, I think the both early and like Death Note are like super good. Especially like so like early on, the confrontation is very like indirect, and you get like L in like his room with his computer, and he's doing the like Lindell Taylor thing, and he's figuring out where Light could be. And like Light only has what he knows from like the TV and anything he can find out through his dad being in the police. uh and then it transitions really well into them like communicating in person, and that is also like super solid, especially like even though people make jokes about it a lot, like the tennis scene is like really solid, and the internal monologue is really nice.
Yeah, I love the tennis scene.
Yeah. It's probably the most words in the history of tennis scenes. It's a lot of words.
I can't think of another like anime tennis scene, so
I'm referring to all tennis scenes, even in like things about tennis.
I also probably touch on 13 more, but I really like the yeah. This is kind of ruined by the 13th one. Death Note, the one where it kind of just says everything.
What?
Isn't there like the extra after the story was finished? He
Oh yeah, that one.
yeah, I like the when it's transitioning to like them not speaking to them, like him being monitored and stuff. I like the oh, he only has like a whatever low number percent chance of being Kira is.
Of being Kira.
Yeah, it's implied that it's like, oh yeah, he's just bullshitting. He very much thinks it's he's
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Volume 13 really goes into that specific thing, but I like there are definitely parts of Volume 13 I dislike. Like like it probably would be better if it just focused more on maybe the process of making it, or they just didn't make it. Like also the tennis scene, just for by now you'll have seen this, but I'm just showing the people here an example of the tennis scene in the manga. It's a lot of words.
That is nothing compared to the average Hunter x Hunter page.
I mean, yeah, but like, how many tennis scenes are there in that show?
Well, there's some dodgeball scenes.
Yeah, that's not tennis. That's what I thought. Sit the fuck down. Shut your crack ass up and
shut your crack addicted ass up, Lucas.
like early on, they nail the like intellectual competition aspect so well.
Yeah, that's why the videos on YouTube where it's like Death Note without the internal monologue, I think those videos show off how well the dynamics are. Because they literally think out every action, how it could go.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't, and you get to know what they were thinking after the fact, but when they do it, it still usually works. Transitioning into very mid to mid late Death Note, Light giving up his memories. It's not really shown what Light's plan is until after the fact. But obviously that's the way it has to be, because you could talk about what the plan is, but it's better for it to just happen and you're like, oh, this was really smart. This is how he did it.
I kind of want to talk about how the anime ended is there any other points you two want to hit on before I just talk about
I think first we should just do a general thoughts about part 2. I've just been starting most of these, so I'll just start here. Obviously part 2 is much weaker than part 1. It's a closer gap in the manga, but in the anime it's just part 1 is so good and part 2 is I still like it, but I know a lot of people think it's mediocre to not even some people saying it's just not good. And it's just because the pacing was really screwed up and they left out some things. Despite all that, even just looking at it from the anime perspective, I feel like Nier is just really underrated. I can understand the criticism of all the part 2 characters because they're not really
developed,
given the focus they should have had. But even in the anime, I think Nier is just both underrated and to a greater degree actually overhated. I guess it's partially just because you kind of get less of the explanations. As someone who hasn't read the manga, I want to hear what actually both of you. I want to hear what you think.
I don't remember much of part 2. I really remember just not liking it at all. After L died, I kind of just lost half of my interest. There was no more men sit funny.
I think that's fair. I think killing off L in retrospect. It's a weird move.
I think it still could have gone really well if they still did it, but it's it was a risky play and it didn't really work out because they kind of just mishandled the second part. They didn't even in the manga the character stuff is just weaker. But it's especially prevalent in the anime how how much weaker all the character stuff and all of the mind these. I'm sorry for interrupting you for this long, but just about Nier and Mello and Kira, it's supposed to be a 3-way thing, except it's not. They go for that and it doesn't work because Mello doesn't. To my knowledge, he barely, if at all, has internal monologue scenes, and he doesn't have them with other people. I think the only time he might have it is during the raid of his hideout. So it's just supposed to be 3 people, and it's not. It's just really not. It's just 2 people, one of whom is improperly fleshed out. Another is even less properly fleshed out, and then you just have Kira. And he's still good in part 2, but he's better in part 1 because he works more with L.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's a very, very brave decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
The gamble that didn't quite work out.
Yeah. Despite all that, Nier's I just like Nier. L is obviously better, but yeah. I definitely do like it. I like Nier and the SBK, and I like the idea they were going for with Nier versus Mel, and they're competing, but they can still kind of help each other. But it just didn't really pan out that well. I think for it to work, they probably just would have had to make part 2 quite a bit longer than they did, and they need more in-person scenes, which I know is kind of hard to do. but like they had kind of had a bit of an outline for it going. They just didn't do enough.
In my personal opinion, I think it would have been better if it was focused on a 1v1 intellectual, like squabble.
Yeah.
I think if they wanted to do a succession thing, maybe they could have done something with like the third Kira versus Nier, maybe.
Either that or like since things do happen after the I got ahead of myself. No. Since multiple Death Notes are dropped, they could have like I guess that's basically what the light novels and stuff do, and like the one that takes place in like 2020. They could have something take place either after the main thing or related to the aftermath of it.
But like I don't know, Kira and L, Light and L is just so good. I don't think anything with Nier and Mello would be able to replace it.
Yeah,
I think if they wanted to go forward in the replacing L, they should have also just replaced Light.
I actually disagree. I think there was potential behind the Nier Mello Light thing. It just they made the gamble, but then they didn't like commit to the fact that they would need to have a lot of stuff to back it up because they're introducing new characters, new dynamics, and they don't meet up as much, so they would need to have pushed harder, but they just didn't. I think if they did Nier and Mel, I think without it being Light, it probably just wouldn't have worked that well. I think, especially because it's pretty clear, like Light is like the only person to be Kira who has any actual skill at really like being Kira. Like Misa is like she's a nice character, but without Light, she would not have gotten far.
No, she leaves her evidence. So.
Yeah, she leaves evidence. Higuchi, without Light, probably no one there is no Death Note investigation because it's just like suspicious coincidences, but there are people dying in accidents. Like maybe someone looks into it, but there's just like no Death Note investigation, and like Mikami, he's even more pro murder than Light, and he's worse at lying and hiding his evidence.
But from the perspective of an anime-only viewer, Mello isn't that impactful.
Oh. Yeah,
I don't like his design very much.
Yeah, kind of. His design's worse than Nier.
I like his design.
It's worse.
It's nothing to write home about, but like I liked it. I also think it contrasts well with Nier's design.
Yeah. Yeah, just from his perspective, an anime-only viewer, if Mel wasn't there, I think Mello. If Mello wasn't there, I think even a Light versus Nier, like a kind of rematch thing, which is kind of what happened, but like a pure rematch 1v1 would have been better than what we got.
I could see that working better, but I don't know.
Lucas?
He's also like Nier is like their approaches are different, and that's what allows like plot progression. Because Nier is like if it was just Nier and Light, like maybe the mental game would have been like could have been better, but like the actual progression of the plot would have been probably just like notably slower and just less interesting. Because like a lot of the less interaction, like a lot less interaction is done by Mello, but he does do quite a bit to advance the plot.
Yeah. Lucas, want to chime in?
I also don't like Nier's characters. I think he looks too much like L.
That's kind of the point.
White hair.
The point is supposed to be that like Nier and Mello are they're kind of supposed to be like L separated.
The thing is with that was where I
don't
think
enjoy my Pokemon. I don't. L is the Pokemon Yellow to my Red and Blue. I do not like Red and Blue as much as I like Yellow.
I will say I think Nier is way closer to how L was than Mello.
Yeah,
like that's
I think
that's a pretty
yeah.
I think that's a pretty big problem. Mel does not act that much like L compared to Nier.
I think they definitely should have like differentiated Nier a bit more because like Nier is like L, but if he just like wasn't charismatic and was also more clinical, and Mello's like a very separate individual. Like he has like the like L's like drive and his like willingness to do things he shouldn't do to get the results he needs, like when L basically just tortures two people. Except like he's just like way less similar. So like the the dynamic between them is like unbalanced.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like Mello, really. He's probably my least favorite part of. Yeah, he's my least favorite part of the second half.
Half.
Hey,
Treat it for what it really is. The third part.
Yeah. It's a third.
Yeah, it's just 1/3. Yeah, that's not how it should be done. And it's not like the third part in the manga was like notably not that it's not like the post-death part of the manga was that much shorter than the first part. I obviously haven't shown, like, it's not obvious to the audience, but I haven't shown Lucas, but I've shown Dorian like where the dividing line is in the manga. It's like in the middle, like
Essentially.
and then and then they make it the second part like just over half as long.
Also, I'm going to touch upon the ending here. The
Yeah.
ending in the anime kind of just happens. Like, as seen in the manga, the long text, we kind of needed that. As opposed to just what happened.
I think the very end of the ending, like he does his monologue, he goes for the watch, he gets shot, he doesn't laugh and stuff. I think that specific part of the ending is one of my favorites ever.
No. That's really good. It's just how Light got caught.
Oh, like you're talking like okay, so like when I thought of the ending, I was thinking like what Lucas was thinking, like the ending like after Light gets found out, like everything going from there in the warehouse. But you're talking about like just the final showdown between Nier and Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they definitely give a lot more explanation for it in the manga, and I was like, after I read it, I was like, why the fuck wasn't this in the show? Like, because it's like, oh, like, okay, I can see like how this is working, and because it's not exactly a simple plot line that they're going through, because it's like there's like all the death notes to think about, and like the scheming, and they have proxies because Mikami and Giovanni, and
I remember, like, I was a little confused in the final episode. It was more like okay, I guess this is happening type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, just give them like 3 more episodes, man.
Yeah, I would have appreciated a good like, just to cover the second part better, like a good 3 to 6 more episodes.
Also, 37 is just a weird number. I've never seen another anime that just has 37 episodes.
Right? Yeah, it is weird. It's a prime number. Usually anime that have parts, they don't end on prime numbers.
And I don't know, the scene where the end, like the pure ending where Light just kind of runs away, the light shines on him. I feel like that's nice. I like the symbolicness of it. But
I'm not sure if that exactly is in the manga, because I know the like a lot of the more like overt imagery is added in the anime.
I don't. Didn't they add a bunch of just Christian?
Yeah, a lot of the Christian imagery was added for the anime. I think the foot washing scene that
Yes,
got
that
brought
was
up there,
that was added.
that's anime only. Yeah, just the like the anime is a bit more heavy-handed with its imagery sometimes.
Which, I mean, if when you're going manga to anime, that's a good thing most of the time.
Yeah, it's fine if they make it a bit more heavy-handed, because like just the approach you have to do is different. It's, which I think actually can segue kind of well into the like if we want to talk about just the art and to a lesser degree, I guess, the music. But
God damn, Misa. I'll say it now. Misa is a top 10 anime babe.
Man, that's crazy. What about Ryu?
Only live action version.
Only as played by Willem Dafoe.
Fuck you, that's what I just said. No, the art looks pretty. Art looks amazing.
The art looks very solid. It was
it's
surprising at the time.
It's a very unique style for anime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you got the classic, you got the moe, you got the more realistic. I think Death Note. It's not really an anime with the same style. Maybe Attack on Titan's the closest.
And even then, it's not very close.
Aiden, we've got to get you into Attack on Titan so we can cover that.
That's true, we do.
I'll think about it. Regardless, I'd make any sacrifice for this channel. God bless Anime Friday.
I'd through Anime Friday enjoyer. This is what all you rats watching that shit aspire to be.
I think it's to some degree similar to Moriarty the Patriot in its style, but even then, like Death Note has a very distinct visual style, and I really like that.
It's more sharp than most anime.
Yeah, it's more, it's like kind of a mix of like a more realistic than like a decent portion of anime, and it's got like a lot of like. And the way they differentiate between sharper and softer things is really nice. Like Light when he's light without the memories of being Kira, like his entire design is just like a bit softer. Except like when he's Kira, he's got a lot of like sharp edges. It's especially noticeable in his eyes, but like also like when he's Kira, a lot of the time he's got like like the suit shirt, and it's got like the sharper shoulders and stuff. But when he's just light, like he's got like a sweater.
Yeah.
So it's got like just softer edges in it. It's a good way to like non-verbally portray it.
Also, I like the design of everyone. I like I like the Shinigami designs. How they're not literally all the same creature.
Yeah.
Also, them being like not human, I think also fits into how how it's affecting the world and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so different. Like everyone is terrified when they touch the Death Note for the first time.
like it's just like so foreign, like so alien.
Also, the red versus blue in the theme song.
Yeah. Also, like
And
they had a couple like oh, you go.
I was gonna say theme song and some anime moments.
Yeah.
What's the opinion here on the second opening?
It's the first one's better.
I don't remember.
I'm a second opening hater. I hate it so much.
I don't remember.
I don't like hate it, but I definitely prefer the first
It
one.
does not fit Death Note.
It's like too angry, like regardless of what I was going to say on the topic, like the red and blue, like the red and blue represent the characters really well. Like, because red is like extremes and passion and violence, and blue is like stability and like calmness and logic. But also, like, even when other characters get their own colors, which doesn't happen a ton, but like Matsuda is yellow, which like completes the it like completes a blue red yellow triangle. So it's like, oh well, Matsuda has something they lack, and he lacks what they have, which is brains. But it's also like can be a color representing. It can represent both cowardice and bravery, but also like loyalty, and those are good traits he exhibits. Namikawa is purple, which is another intellectual color, but it also represents like wealth. Aizawa is green, and I'm not like too sure on the green meanings, but it's also the opposite of red, and like he gets the green when he starts working with Nier against Kira.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, on the music, the music's really solid. Like, Low of Solipsism is really good. The first intro theme is really good. L's theme is pretty good. Is pretty great. And what's funny is
play L's theme on the piano.
What's funny is they did a better job splitting L's theme into Mellow's theme and Nier's theme than they did splitting L into Mellow and Nier. Like, because Mellow's is like L's, but kind of more similar to Kira's, because he's doing bad things and he's kind of like, well, it's a, and Nier's is, because Nier is supposed to be like a more mechanical L. His is like electronic, like. And I think that's a cool way to approach it. Also, if you play them both together, it does sound pretty similar to L's theme, if I remember correctly.
That's a nice touch you always like to see.
Yeah, it like shows that the people doing the music, they put in some nice effort. It's nice. I also think just generally, even like outside of the symbolic stuff, the coloration in Death Note's pretty good, because a lot of it's like pretty gritty and realistic, but you still get like you can see, like they'll still change the colors, and so some things pop out more. Like Ryuk's eyes, like they're just like a solid yellow and red, and it really pops out against the generally like darker blues and greens and grays.
I think Death Note does a good job of, despite being dark and grim, isn't muddy.
Like, what do you mean by muddy?
Like, yeah, what you said, the colors pop out.
Oh.
Like, there's many modern movies that just, they're going for the dark and grim look.
They just turn out like gray.
Yeah, a little like that. Like the colors don't come through.
Yeah, they get the Netflix Poland filter.
Yeah, opposed to the Mexico filter.
Yeah, they do a much better job. Also, because a lot of the scenes take place in like areas with like better lighting, and I think that helps a lot because it like differentiates between just like foreground, background characters and like props and stuff pretty well. And even when they're indoors, they do a good job with the coloring and differentiating things. It's pretty nice. Yeah, something that more modern media could stand to improve upon.
Cough, cough. What's a terrible looking movie?
That came out any of the Die Hards after the third one.
Yeah, cough, cough. Die Hard 4.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about movies in our anime podcast?
Media comparison.
Yeah.
All our Weeberinos must know. I mean, after all, they don't watch Die Hard.
The sewer rats who are viewing us right now do not watch Die Hard.
Gutter trash.
You are our favorite sewer rats, though. Except for maybe Aaron. But, like... likable sewer rats, nonetheless.
Are we ready to go into the next section?
Yeah.
probably just be wrapping up because it's already 11:40 something.
Yeah. Just like maybe
And
like some more,
also we've been recording for we already have like 50 minutes, so I think that'd be pretty nice.
Would you like to end with a segment?
No. Regardless, something I did neglect to say earlier is I guess I kind of implied it, but not very clearly. It's that Elle and Light just probably just the best two-person dynamic in any of the fiction I have consumed. Like, it's like it's not like overwhelming, but it's probably just the best. It's like it's a really great dynamic that they have, and it's supplemented really well.
Trying to think, how would I? I think it's my second favorite, behind Love, Shibuya, and Other Delusions. The character dynamic between Rika and Yuta.
All right. I haven't seen that one, but if I do watch it, which I probably will for this channel, I will be sure to keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's a shame what the nice dynamic. Shame what had to happen.
That's ominous.
No, I mean like the Death Note.
Oh.
Shame that Elle had to die.
Yeah.
But nothing bad happens to they don't die in Love, Shibuya, and Other Delusions.
Yeah, in my head I was just thinking, okay, so either the show gets bad at some point, the dynamic goes south, or one or both of them die.
No, it's a moe anime.
I mean, like, what if one of them gets like run over? What if one of them gets isekai'd? How will the other go on without them?
Got turned.
Actually, I'd like to see. That would be pretty funny. Anime, but from the perspective of the people who are like friends with the person who got isekai'd.
I think that's why most isekais are fucking losers. My friend got isekai'd into another dimension. What shall I do? The person paying my Medicare.
Ooh. The president gets isekai'd. But yeah, on wrapping up, I just like really solid anime, even better manga. The second part definitely could have stood to be improved. I like where they were going, but they just didn't do it well enough for it to pay off. I respect the gamble.
I wish they played it
The
safe.
World is a top 10 opening.
Yeah, The World is a really good opening. Oh, what was that, Dorian?
I wish they hadn't taken that gamble.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with hindsight, yeah, like, at the time, I probably would.
If I could barge into whatever anime studio managed the manga or whatever when he was writing, I would have gone, no, please don't. Even without hindsight to what happened, I just think I like the dynamic too much.
Right, yeah, that's fair. Also, I think part of the problem that I should have mentioned earlier is usually, like, when something like that happens, the replacement characters are introduced beforehand. Even if not, like, a ton. It's like... but it's just like, snap, boom, new characters.
We made Elle but worse and Elle but really, really worse.
To be fair, with them coming in of nowhere, it is a shock to Light that the game kept on going. I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I like that aspect of it. But it's, yeah, you get Elle, but with a deficit, and Elle in air quotes.
It is kind of bullshit that fucking Elle just had a mansion of abandoned children to pick from.
Yeah.
Next successor.
Well, to be fair, in the long run of things, that's like functionally. Actually, no. I'm just thinking about light novel stuff because the first the first placer in the light novel, he kills himself because because he cannot handle the fact that like he's been like coddled so long for being good, and then Mello is just better than him, and he is A, and then E, who is Beyond Birthday, who was second before Mello showed up, is the one who becomes the like psychotic serial killer in LA that I alluded to earlier. And he actually would have also killed himself. I'm pretty sure canonically Kira killed him while he was in prison, though. Because like he blah 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 challenged L, and then he wanted to kill himself to make the case unsolvable.
That sounds awesome.
I do want to read that.
Yeah, I want to read the manga before
I own the physical manga, but I own the all-in-one, so it's just like a fucking brick.
Yeah, I won't be borrowing that. I'll just read like some PDFs.
Yeah, but yeah.
Speaking of a manga you should read, Dorian, Pokemon Adventures. I'd love to talk about Pokemon Adventures on the podcast.
I would also have to talk about it on the podcast, but it's like that's like a back burner thing. There are definitely other things I'd rather talk about.
Make a Google Doc.
Actually, the problem is I was about to say I'd like to just read all Full Metal Alchemist, and then we could do that. Except then I was right, but then everyone else has to finish it. If anyone bothering to watch this has any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments.
Oh, also, we should give our number ratings.
Yeah.
As an anime only.
Out of 10.
Yeah. As an anime only, it's a light 7 or like a weak 7 out of 10.
Actually, because of the nature of it, I think maybe we could do both overall and like first half, second half.
Ooh, okay. Overall, weak 7. First half, strong 9. Essentially almost perfect. Second half, for me, is like a very weak 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lucas, you?
Overall, I'll give it an 8. First half, 9. Second half, like a 6.
I'm gonna yeah, for the anime, overall a 9. The first half is a 10, and then the second half is probably like a weak 7, like a particularly weak 7. I would not object to a 6 rating. And for the manga, I just rate it overall a 10. First half, still a 10. Second half, like, weak to middle 8.
Tough but fair.
Yeah, but I think this was a productive discussion that everyone at home
should like, subscribe.
Do it. I got the Death Note. I am not afraid to use it.
We found out you watched and didn't do those 2 things. You're on the rape list.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
I do. I'm actually the editor in chief.
The rape note.
Rape note. Yeah. If people like that enough, we'll see if we can get that one approved. Anyway, goodbye in Japanese. Everyone have a good night.
The rape note. I'm just thinking that's like a shitty like early 2010s like internet like edgy cartoon that we made. Anyway,
for real.
Anyway, good night, America.
Yeah. Good night, America, and not Japan.
Yeah, they. Yuri.
Yowie.
Yeah.
And that